I'm so sorry. Look at this. How can you participate in this? If you're not vegan, you're paying for someone to slit her in the throat. How can we do this to them? So today I'm down at Port Beach at the moment. As you can see, it's just a beautiful autumn day. It is super hot today, especially because there's like a bit of cloud cover, so really hot day. And today I'm actually going to be bearing witness to the live export trade, which I refer to as the slave trade. Basically, here in Fremantle, there is a port where there is a live export trade, and generally it's sheep and cows that are sent across to other nations in these horrific conditions on these ships. There are just constantly trucks full of sheep and cows, and they're being sent across to other countries alive on these death ships. And today I'm going to be bearing witness to these animals. I'm going to be driving just a little bit further south, and I'm actually going to be right at the entrance point where these animals are sent in on the trucks and then they're loaded onto the ships. And as I mentioned before, it is an extremely hot day, and these animals are going to be on these ships for generally weeks on end. It can be up to even a month, depending obviously on what country they are being sent to. And generally there are just thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands of animals crammed onto these ships, and they are living in horrific conditions. This has all been exposed by people actually working on these ships. They've exposed absolutely horrific conditions. A majority of the public are actually against the live export trade, so that's including a lot of non-vegans, because they believe it is a very horrific thing to do to send these live animals across to other nations. And a lot of non-vegans don't realize the hypocrisy there, because it is honestly no different to the bodies of the animals that they are consuming every day. Just because those animals didn't endure weeks of suffering on a ship, they've still endured their lives suffering, and they were bred into existence with their extermination date planned, and they were all sent to murder factories, crammed in trucks on hot days as well, especially here in Australia. I've been outside plenty of slaughterhouses where I've witnessed these animals suffering on the trucks before they're brutally murdered and have their throats slit. So if you're against the live export trade but you're not vegan, please question your own choices, and you should be against all forms of animal cruelty and exploitation. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drive further south and actually go right up to the ship. I've been there quite a few times before. I've actually very closely monitored the live export trade. Just a couple of years ago now, I was going down there almost every day. It really got to me mentally, actually bearing witness to these beings every day. So I definitely have a lot of bad memories down there and a lot of conflicts as well. So let's see how we go down there today, and if they're gonna try and get me to leave, because I believe I have every right to be down in that area. It is a public space before the trucks are actually going in, and I'm gonna just try and get some footage of these animals and share their stories with you. So I've just arrived here at the port. I'm not sure if you can see much behind me, but you can probably see the ship behind me where these beings are actually right now being forced onto. So I'm just gonna get into a good position where I can get some footage of these animals boarding onto the death ship. So yeah, as you can see, the sheep are currently being forced onto this death ship by the thousands. Just take a look at the size of this thing. It's absolutely enormous. The truck has actually just arrived. You can see all the sheep are boarded on. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see, but yeah, those sheep are just behind me. So I'm just gonna head over and actually get into a good position where I can be face to face and bear witness to these animals before they are boarded on this slave ship. So yeah, you can see they're crammed. It's a hot day. They're living in their own feces. I'm so sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. And they're absolutely terrified. How can we do this to them? They're no different to dogs and cats. You're probably sitting here thinking, what's the big deal? They're just sheep. They're bred for food. But think about it. They're just sentient living beings. They want to live just like us. I'm so sorry. These trucks are just coming in like every minute. It's actually insane. So you can just see this, like the other one just went on and now we've got another one here. You can definitely see them a little bit better in this truck. I'm so sorry, none of you deserve this. Absolutely none of you. None of you deserve this. Look how crammed they are. Imagine how crammed they're going to be in the ship. You know, you think this is bad, but just imagine what it's going to be like once they're on that death ship. They're going to be living in their own feces for weeks on end. They're literally going to be cooking alive. There have been countless times where this industry has been exposed and these animals have been found cooking alive, living in their own feces. I'm talking inches deep, weeks worth of feces. This is an abhorrent industry, and all animal agricultural industries are abhorrent and they need to be abolished. This is nothing but a slave and murder industry. The meat, dairy, egg industries, live export, every industry that uses animals is blatant animal exploitation. I'm sure someone's going to spot me soon and I'm going to be asked to move on. In fact, I've been down here plenty of times before where I've had workers confront me and abuse me. I've had the police come and ask me to move on, but the thing is, I'm in a public area. I have every right to be here. They just don't want me documenting this violence. They don't want the public to know the truth. So we've got, about 3 trucks at the moment that are loading. And this is just all within the time frame of a few minutes. So I can't even estimate how many hundreds of trucks are probably going to be coming through over the next few days to load these innocent slaves onto this death ship. So I just got some really good footage of the animals. Surprisingly, no one actually noticed me there, which is honestly very surprising because whenever I've been down here in the past, like the police have been called immediately or I've been like abused by the workers. So what I thought I was going to do, because the sheep, like the truck route is actually through like basically the centre of Fremantle, where obviously it's quite busy with the public. I think maybe I can bring a bit more light to this industry if people are actually seeing someone film these animals, and it will bring a bit more attention to what's going on. So I thought I'd head on over towards Freo area, well, like North Fremantle, to actually get some more footage of the sheep on the trucks, and hopefully, I mean, I've done it before where I've actually held a sign as well, and I've actually had a lot of good conversations with people at the traffic lights about what's going on. So I thought I'd head on over there now and see if I can actually get some conversations going as well. All right, so we're just out in the heart of North Freo and we're just trying to get some footage of the animals. only managed to catch a couple of trucks at the traffic lights. However, the most important thing is that I now have footage and I can share the stories of these animals and the suffering that they're enduring and the brutal murder that they are awaiting. I hope this has inspired you to get out there, find out where your local slaughterhouse is, see if there's a live export trade near you, and get out there and witness what is going on. It is so important that we share the stories of these animals. Otherwise, these industries will continue to thrive in secrecy and the animal stories will remain unnoticed. It's so important that we get out there and actually get footage of their suffering so that other people can see what is actually going on and the brutal Holocaust that is occurring behind closed doors.